So now that we've taken a look at how to calculate this slope given a graph, we're going to do it using ordered pairs. So how is slope found from a set of ordered pairs? The first thing we're going to do is find the vertical change, or the change in y. Then we're going to find the horizontal change, or the change in x. And then we do the change in y over the change in x. And you'll notice that those are the exact same steps we take in the other problems. So now we want to find the slope of the line through the given ordered pairs. One way that I like to do that is I like to create a t-table, just because that's something that we're used to. We have x and y. We have -1 and 0, and we also have 3 and -2. Now what we go ahead and do is we figure out which number this is, so what our change in y is and our change in x. So from 0 to -2, we went -2, and from -1 to 3, we went +4. That's supposed to be a 4. So now we have the change in y is equal to -2, and the change in x is equal to a +4. So if you remember, we write it as the change in y over the change in x, which is the same thing as -2 over 4. And using our handy-dandy simplifying skills, we divide both sides by 2 to get -1 over 2. And again, what that means is we're going down 1 and to the right 2. Let's try some more examples of this. What I want to do again is create those t-tables. We have x and y, -3, 2, and 1, 5. So our change in y, we're adding 3, and our change in x, we're adding 4. So now we can rewrite this. Our change in y is equal to 3, and our change in x is equal to 4. So we're going to write this as the change in y over the change in x, which is 3 over 4. So our slope is 3 over 4. We're going up 3 boxes and to the right 4 on a graph. We have 2 more problems to work on. So again, another t-table with x and y, 4 and -3, and 4 and 2. So let's calculate the change here. From -3 to 2, we're adding 5. And from 4 to 4, we're adding 0. So our change in y is 5, and our change in x is 0. So now we write it as the change in y over the change in x, which is 5 over 0, which is the same thing as saying 0. So what that means when our slope is 0, we are having a constant x value, so our x is always equal to 4. So this point right here is at x equals -4. So our y values are changing, but our x values are not. So we are having a vertical line here. And our last problem here is, let's extend the page here, -1, -3, and 5, -3. So we'll have x on this side, y on this side, -1 and -3, 5 and -3. So our change in y is 0, and our change in x is 6, +6. So I'll write that over here. Change in y is 0, and our change in x is 6. Now we want to write this as the change in y over the change in x. So we have 0 over 6, which equals 0. Now I want to make a correction here. Although we have 5 over 0, this is actually what they call undefined. So it'll have an undefined slope. This one we're going to get 0, but our graph is going to look a little bit different. So let me show you. So all of our y values are at -3. 1, 2, 3. Here's -3. This is what our line would look like. So this line right here, I'll highlight it in yellow here. This is our line at y equals -3. So our x values are changing now, and our y values are staying the same. So even though we got the same answer, our graph is going to look a little bit different. So up here, our graph is vertical when it's at 0, or undefined. And when we have 0 down here, our y values are going to be the same, so it's going to be horizontal. Now you try these problems. We have the first problem is a graph. So you are going to find the slope given a graph, and then you're going to find the slope given 2 points. Also, don't forget about that summary. It's super important. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to submit your Google form so that you get credit for watching.